So the big question is this: how do most agents who struggle to get the information that most successful agents hoard to themselves grow and prosper without this information? That's the big question, and this video cast is the answer. Welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. I'm your host, Pat Hyben. Okay, Rockstar Nation, I have a great returning guest from about 200 plus episodes, and one of our most downloaded episodes organically. And organically, I mean, somebody whose episode got passed around, that we didn't pay to advertise, and is not necessarily a famous person outside of her hometown, did extremely well. And I'm excited to get her back. She's taken time out of her busy day. And we're going to jump into what is new and exciting, what's been happening since she recorded her first one, which has almost been 2 years now. She's done some massive changes in her business. So Trish Williams, welcome back to Real Estate Rockstars.
Hi, Pat. Thanks for having me back again. Nice to see you.
You too. Hey, Trish, why don't you give our audience a little rundown on who you are and a little bit about you so they can get to know you better.
Okay. Well, my name's Trish Williams, Vegas local, born and raised here in Las Vegas. I've been in real estate for about 4 years. I started off first year, I was Rookie of the Year. Second year, ranked second in my market center and in closings. And, I've been doing very successful since. But I had made some major changes in this last year. I started off with a primarily referral-focused business, and I was working with a lot of buyers, and you had told me on your show that wasn't going to work out long, and you were absolutely right. It just came to, I found myself at the end of 2016 completely burnt out. I was trying to hit these high goals for closings and numbers, and that's the only thing I was really focused on, but I wasn't having time to do anything else. I was spending all my time with these buyers, and they were coming and easy to grab, easy to get in a contract, but it was it was burnout. So I kind of had to reevaluate everything last year. First quarter of 2017, I had a huge slump, but it was because I started to refocus my whole business, and it's been amazing since.
Wow. Okay. So we're going to find out actually exactly how you went from buyer agent to listing agent, because I think it's a hard thing to do. I think there's a lot of people out there listening that, work buyers or work too many buyers and would like to work more listings than they do buyers. So I'd like to make today's show basically a how-to on how to do that, and we can learn that just from you and I chatting. But before I do that, so let's get an idea of your production. So like how many houses will you sell this year?
So again, this year, because I've done quite a bit of changes to my business, I'm not doing quite as well as I did the previous years, but my first quarter, it was a slump. I had one sell in the first quarter.
Wow.
So now, yeah, year to date, but it's because I just had to restructure everything. Year to date, I'm at 31 transactions. We have 8 escrows currently pending right now. So
see, look at that. So clearly it's a one step back, 2 steps forward process of going from, listing agent from buyer agent to listing agent.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was it took a couple months to, kind of get that ball rolling again, but now we have a system. I think we're doing pretty good.
And so in 2016, how many houses did you sell?
2016, I was just by myself. I didn't have any admin or, any other agents.
Right, yeah.
38 at the end of the year.
Okay. Yeah, because it's important, because a lot of people that listen to the show are single agents, and even if you're on a team, you are essentially a single agent because you're working for somebody else as a single agent, and everything applies. You know what I mean? Like everybody should know that listings are the way to go. No matter what your role is, your goal should be to become a listing agent. So let's jump right into this. And now, one thing it's important for people to know is you just started this game in 2015, right?
Yeah. It was September 2014 was when I got licensed. So yeah, I mean, basically 2015 was my first full year.
Yeah. So to do that amount of sales, you know, with no other agents under you, with no, you know, clerical help, and being a rookie is just amazing. And so let's jump right into finding out how. Okay. So first of all, take us, what was it like, the mindset? You know, how strong did you have to be to convince yourself that, you know what, I'm gonna stop the train for a little bit here, and refocus the direction of the train? Like, what was that like?
So first off, when you start off in real estate like I did, you know, I was rookie of the year. I was pretty successful starting out. You get a lot of people telling you how great you're doing, and that actually is very dangerous, very, very dangerous, because you start to think that you know what you're doing, and there's so much to learn. There's so much out there. There's so much to this business that can actually be one of the things that can, you know, cause failure, you know, and somebody starting off good, you know, it's, that was one of the failures I hit. End of 2016, I was just burnt out. I was ready to leave real estate. I was just done. I was
Wow.
like,
That fast, yeah. Right? I mean, that much success, and you're
I was like, is it, you know, is this really worth it? I mean, I wasn't even seeing my family. I just felt like I was always working. And I had served on the ALC. I'm at Keller Williams. I had served on the ALC a couple years. And one of the covenants for the next year was we had to attend family reunion. I was so busy, I could not even see taking a week away from my business. I was like, I just can't do it. You know, I was that busy. So, you know, I had to step down from the ALC, and I think I was really hurt by that. I was really upset. And I was just like, you know, just looking like, what am I doing? I almost left KW, and I love KW. So there was that. And then, you know, everybody's, I hear it everywhere. Listings are the way to go. But I didn't really know how to get into that, you know, what to do. So I did end up going to family reunion, and I went to family reunion in a different mindset than any kind of training that I've been to, because I went there feeling like a failure. You know, I had the first quarter, I had one transaction the first quarter of 2017. And I was just, I was just like, I failed, I screwed up, and I was a little too burnt out to even do anything from that point. And one of the things that I heard there, one of the main speakers was talking about hiring an admin. You know, he said that he hired one before he felt he was supposed to, and he had 3 months of, you know, of an admin salary saved up. And he said, you know, if we get through this 3 months and it's gone, that's all I have. But, you know, if it works out, that's great. So I did that. I took that closing that I had, and I hired an admin, and I gave her that same speech. I can pay you for 3 months. And after that, we'll just see how it works out.
Wow.
and so what I did was I started, you know, plug to you. I started with the Rebus University videos, you know, just started watching them over and over and over again. You know, how am I going to go into these listing presentations? What is everybody doing? So I really focused on that a lot. And then I started creating my own seller guides. One of the things that I got from family reunion was pre-listing packages. And those have been amazing for me. I don't know if everybody out there is really using these or utilizing them, but I've created a system where as soon as I schedule a listing appointment, we FedEx or not FedEx, the, you know, priority mail to where it's next day mail. We send them this listing packet. It's in a bright red bubble mailer, so they can't miss it. And it has inside there, I have my customized home selling guide, testimonials guide of, you know, past clients' testimonials, and the seller homework.
Wow.
Basically.
Okay. So let's slow down a little bit here. So, okay. So you're there, right? You're working buyers. Like, how many of the 30 some deals, or however many deals you did your second year in the business, let's say your second full year in the business, how many were buyers? How many were sellers?
I had 7 closed listings last year, so the rest were buyers.
All right. So, and out of 36, is that what you said?
38.
38. So 31 were buyers. So you did 31 buyers, which is a lot of work. Understand why you were burnt out. 7 listings. And where are you now? Like, where are you now with listings? Like, how many listings do you have currently? Have you closed?
Last month, I took 9 listings.
Wow. More than
So,
all year, just in 1 month.
yeah, no, last month I took 9 listings. Yeah. So yeah, I did better last month than I did last year. We are, we still have buyers, but this month we brought on a buyer's agent. So she's going to be, she's taking care
You're
of
going
all
to get
of
out
my
of
buyers.
buyers completely now.
Yes, I
Yeah,
am
you
focusing
don't
on
waste any
listings.
time. Okay. So
Yeah.
this is great. Okay. So clearly you've made it over the hump, but let's talk about that hump first. So the first thing you did is, number one, you decided, right? I'm going to be a listing agent. The second thing you did is you got educated and confident that when you went on a listing appointment, you could get the listing appointment. Because I think a lot of agents are reluctant to become listing agents because they're afraid of, what happens in that face-to-face meeting. They're afraid that they're not experienced enough, that sort of thing. So you went to Rebus University and you took the certified listing agent course. And then not only did you take the course, which is 8 agents listing appointments, but you watched those listing appointments over and over and over again, right?
Yes.
So the words just started coming out of your mouth eventually.
Right. Yeah. I just blurt out some stuff that's probably, other people's scripts, but it's because I've watched them so many times, they're natural to me. So that one thing that we never got in all of our training, everybody trains listings, how to get listings, how to find listings, but you never really see what do you do when you're face to face with a seller? I had never really, that was the one part of it that I didn't know how to act, how to do, is your listing presentation supposed to be on an iPad? Is it supposed to be in a notebook? And it's not, there's no rule to it, but you have to kind of take what works for you. And that's what I've gathered out of that. I've taken what's worked for me. I started out with, before I, started focusing on listings in the previous years, I had this great digital iPad presentation, but I felt like I was making people sit through this presentation with me, and
yeah,
and I don't know,
right.
I
And canned, like reading a script off of a piece of paper or something,
right, and it didn't really feel natural to me. I wasn't comfortable doing it, and that was a big problem. So what I have now, what I've created now is it's just kind of a mix of what pieces from everybody that's on university, pieces of all of their stuff that I feel works for me. So it's a combination of everything. And that's why I think everybody's going to have what they feel comfortable doing. You can't go in there with a script that everybody does,
right. Because some people are a lot more aggressive. Some people are more subtle. And that's why we put men, women, different locations, different sale prices, on the 8 listing appointments. And then I think, so if I'm going to step this out, basically, number one, you decided. Number 2, you learned how to do the appointment itself. Number 3, you downloaded the 8 pre-list books that are in there in the class.
Right.
Took some other agents that you met with or what have you, and you made your own personalized pre-list book, right? And testimonial sheet. And then this 4th step, now it comes time to actually get the appointment. And so that's what I want to talk to you about now. Can you tell us, like a 3rd grader can understand, what you did to start getting listing appointments?
So when I talk to people, now for listings, I have, again, my business, and I'll tell you about this also, but my business is primarily referral. And I'm pulling it, a different way through social media. I'm pulling a lot of referrals. So that does make getting those appointments a lot easier, because referrals are a lot easier to schedule and get in front of than, a stranger. But I do also do land voice, cold call, expireds. I am also kind of, diversifying that a lot.
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you could think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox. And it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now.
What I'm doing is once I set the appointment, setting the appointment never seems to be really the problem. You know, I mean, if someone's looking to sell their house, it's, of course, they're wanting to interview agents. But I seal the appointment. I send out this pre-listing packet. As soon as I set the appointment, if they're interviewing with 3 or 4 agents from me, they're getting next day mail. They're getting this packet that shows everything about who I am. It shows, my seller guide has everything about who I am, what I do, testimonials, all past clients that are happy, and seller homework. What I like about the seller homework, and the only reason why I send it is, 90% of the people won't fill it out, but when you show up and it's done, listing's yours,
Yeah. Especially when it says make 2 copies of your keys.
Yeah. If they follow
they
those,
have them sitting there on the table for you. You don't. Floyd Wickman used to always say, never sell with blah, 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 blah when you can sell with blah.
Yeah.
And I think if they have the keys there for you made and sitting on the table, you don't need to sell with blah, 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 blah. Just press here, sign here.
Right. And what I've done with the seller guide is I've taken everything that I see as kind of like, rebuttals that sellers will have, or different things that they always, those questions that you always get at the listing appointment, they're in the book. Why is my Zestimate different? I have a whole section in the book that explains how, Zestimates vary or whatever, and this person says that my house will sell for this. And I have in there explaining why we want to, price the home right, based upon what an appraiser is probably going to be looking at, other than, taking some really high number and going that route. So there's just a lot of things that I see as obstacles. I address it in the book. So when I get to the listing appointment, that question comes up. If they haven't already read the book, we just flip right over to it. And, this is it right here. So I found that if there's something new that comes up or it comes up a couple times, I add it to the book. My admin's first duty when she started, I didn't really know what to have an admin do. So I just had her started creating that guide. I had actually downloaded all of the seller guides that you had on Rebus, and I took pages out of them and circled areas of stuff, I want something similar to this, or I want to do something similar to this, and just kind of gutted everything and put it all together, and we created our own.
Wow. Okay. That's awesome. And I love how every time you come back from an appointment, if there's something that's not in the guide that was brought up by the seller, you have the admin create a page or add it to it.
Yeah. Make sure you talk about this. One of the things that I have added into the books, is the amount of, everybody's going to give you real estate advice. Everybody's going to give you real estate advice. It could be an agent that's a part-time valet driver. It could be, your family that sold 2 houses on their own or whatnot. There's always, somebody offering you advice. So I do mention, there's a little section where I mention that you're going to get advice from everybody. Please understand that in the last couple of years, I've sold over 100 homes. Trust that I know what I'm doing and trust in me as a professional, because that's going to help us work together. So.
That's incredible. Okay, so you just in the last 30 days you've taken 9 listings. Can you give me a rough idea the sources of them? Like, where'd they come from? Are they all referral? Are they, did some of them you cold call? Do you have a breakdown?
Yes. One of those came from expired, an expired listing
Okay.
and phone call, but it's not. I don't really spend a lot of time on expireds. I do it. It's one of those things that I've added into what I do, but I do most of my business through Facebook, and it's. What I do with Facebook is a little bit different than the norm. I'm not really doing hardcore advertisements, Facebook ads, even though I do those. I do those, but I use Facebook as a place to build credibility, gain referrals, gain business from sphere. You want to stay top of mind to your sphere as a realtor. And I add everybody. My mailman's on my Facebook, the grocery store clerks. As soon as you give me your name, you're going to be my friend on Facebook. And the reason why is because the networking is amazing. And on my personal page, now I know we are not supposed to be advertising on our personal page, but technically I am not. I'm just being me, and I'm a realtor, and this is what I do. So on my personal page, where on my business page I do advertising, on my personal page, I check into my business page all the time. So I'm not checking into, Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm checking into my business page.
Okay, so wait a minute. Let me slow this down.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, let's just say you're checking into your office, or you're checking into Krispy Kreme or wherever, Disney World, or wherever you're visiting. You're just checking. I never heard of this, but it makes a lot of sense. I've never heard of someone doing this. So you're just going to your business, right? Whether you're at home or whether you're actually in the office, right?
Yeah.
And checking in.
Yes. So when I make a post,
I love it.
Yeah, thank you. When I make a post that's real estate related on Facebook, I'm checking into Trish Williams' team, Keller Williams Realty. That's my page. So my page has a lot of, traction. You get, I'm not sure the analytics or whatever on Google, but I know that it gives you something by having a lot of check-ins. So I always do that. My business page is where I will actually be posting, like the advertisements. I post advertisements on my business page, but I post me doing real estate on my personal page. What I'm doing is just, for one, it shows everybody in my sphere that I'm active. I'm out there doing it. You need a realtor. You want somebody that knows what they're doing. I get awards all the time. I get different types of recognitions. They're all there. They're all on my page.
So how do you do, like, how many times are you posting something on Facebook personal or your business page per day?
Probably 3 times per day. However, when I'm posting on my personal page, I don't only, or when I'm posting personally, I don't only post just on my page. I post on other people's pages. I comment on what they're doing. I interact with them. It's kind of like doing those sphere contacts and touches. I don't think that you can build a referral business off of calling everybody in your sphere. If you have a really large sphere, calling them, hey, do you want to buy or sell real estate? You want to talk to them. They want to kind of, feel like you care more about them than do they want to buy or sell real estate. And that can be time consuming.
And then
so I do that.
Are you just tagging, like you're just liking random stuff, commenting on random stuff, or are you looking for people that may be moving soon?
I just see what's going on in people's lives. I don't liking stuff. To me, liking comments is lazy. It's not, everybody likes a comment and nobody really pays attention to who's liking their stuff. Right. I just scroll through and see what they're doing. I mean, did their kids just go to college? Their kids just went to college. They may be thinking of downsizing. There's different things that are going on in their life, and I just interact with them. I scroll through. I make it a point to just see who's posting, what's going on, and then I just directly comment, have a conversation with them through Facebook, and, just I'm interested in what's happening with you. And truly I am. I really love people. So it's not,
what kind of things do you post? You go in there, you talk to people, hey, congratulations. Hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. But then what kind of things are you actually posting that assertively kind of go out there and people see?
Okay, so everything. When I have a listing, I'll post. So, I do a lot of video. I'll post a video walkthrough of the listing. Sometimes a video of the neighborhood and me in it. And my videos are not by any means professional, and I think that that's great because people see the human side of me. They're not.
Right.
It's not. It's likable.
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you could think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox. And it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now.
Referrals. I have these. There's these silly little emojis called. It's called R-emojis.
Write that down, or I'll put it on your show notes. R-E-moji, M-O-J-I. Right?
Yeah, yeah. And they're
what are they?
They're emoji cons that are real estate related. So they have, there's this one on there. It has a girl with black hair. She looks just like me, and she has just sold. Thank you for your referral sign. Just all these real estate related emojis, and they have a whole bunch of different ones there. So every time I get a referral, I post that. I say thank you to whoever the person's name is. Thank you for your referral, and a little comment to them or whatnot. But there's sometimes I'll post that 3 or 4 times a day on my page, because I'm really getting all these referrals. But it also makes everybody else aware that Trish gets referrals all the time. It just puts in their head that when someone's talking about, needing an agent or needing someone to sell, they're sending me their friends and family, and they really are sending me their friends and family.
So basically, every time someone gives you a referral, let's say you automatically friend the person who's the referral. Let's say it's Margie Smith, and then the person that gave you the referral was Donald Sutherland, and you'll say, thank you, Donald Sutherland, for referring me to Margie Smith, and you tag both of them. You put a little emoji of a sold sign and a smiley face or whatever, and you just put it out there.
Yeah, just put it out there. And on that little emoji, there's one that says, thank you for your referrals, one that says your referrals are greatly appreciated. And I just post that little thing. It's a cartoon image, and everybody loves that cartoon image. And
people are like, damn, Trish is getting, to them, you might post once every 5 days a referral, but to them, in their mind, they're thinking she's getting like a referral every day, right? I mean, it really sinks in, yeah.
Because they're constantly seeing it. So they're having, when just recently one of the clients contacted me for a listing just the other day. Her sister's looking to sell her house, and she started talking to another agent that she met through, who knows what. And her friend says, no, Trish is the best. You got to contact Trish. And it was and it's just, because she sees everybody's always sending me business. Whenever I have a buyer or a buyer, seller, a property in contract, picture of the property in contract right across the top. Whenever I have a, someone closed, picture of the property, just sold, just closed, just listed, whatnot. I don't post links for my listings. The links that link back to your website, and I know.
Yeah, you don't do that, huh?
No, I don't. And the reason why is because, and I figured this out at a FSBO one day. I was at a FSBO. He was having an open house, and the house had this amazing curb appeal. And there was, nobody coming there. I mean, it doesn't work out good for FSBOs. And there was no one showing up. And, I had a conversation with them. People been calling you and only realtors. He was getting a little frustrated. I could see him breaking down. And I was like, this house, it's amazing. It was great price. It had great curb appeal. I said, let me just take some pictures of the front. I have people that I know. I know I can find you a buyer for this house. And I was standing there talking to him. I took a couple pictures of the front, posted the house with the price on Facebook, and I had about 10 messages in, I don't know, the 15, 20 minutes I was there with him. And I was like, I have buyers for you. So it was, and it was people that I honestly didn't even know that were looking for a house. It was just, they didn't have a link they could click on to get more information. So they had to message me to find out some more details.
And if you put the link, it would have been to him and they would have cut you out of the deal. Exactly.
So I realized that. And now I do that with everything. I take the best photos and I post those, and I post enough information to kind of bait, but not enough to where they can go, to Zillow, Trulia, wherever the heck, consumers want to be going.
You get it on their own and figure it out. So you're not putting the address then, huh?
Yeah, I'm not putting the address, because if they're not interested in the location, that's fine. I want to know that they're looking. I want to know what they're interested in. I want to know what
you want to talk to them. Yeah.
I want to talk to them. So it gets me that direct, they can send it to anybody they want, but all there is a picture and a price. I mean, it would take forever for someone to figure out which house it is.
So do you put the price on it?
Sometimes I'll put the price if it's a great price, okay. I mean, if the price, for the pictures is great. And sometimes I don't even do that. If the pictures are amazing, just, hey, contact me. Let me give you all the information. So that's worked tremendously well. Just different, I always try to think of different ways to kind of create people. Listings, the reason why listings are coming through this work really well is because, I do the just listed, and then, a couple weeks later in contract, that does amazing, that people are seeing that the listings are actually moving, that they're actually, getting traction. Then I get, I've had quite a bit of contacts for people that inquire about something and they have a house to sell too. So it works out beautifully.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it stems from you just deciding to be a listing agent and having your focus be on listings, right? And post things about listings more than you do, about buyers, right? I mean, every house you look at, or every, listing appointment you go on, every referral you get, your focus is listings. And so here's a question I think some people are wondering, Trish, and that is, let's say somebody gives you a referral of someone who's getting ready to list their house.
Okay.
Now, are you giving away a secret if there's other agents that you're friends with, or do you wait until you go and get the listing before you say thank you?
No, I do not. Now, one thing that you mentioned earlier is that I tag the person in there. So yeah. I put their first name. I actually don't tag them. And the only reason why I do that is because if they have a friend or sister or aunt who's a realtor, sometimes people choose not to use them for whatever reasons. I don't want to kind of throw them out there.
So you'll tag the referring source, but not the actual person listing?
I don't tag them directly for anything. I just put their first
either. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So like, Linda sends me a referral. Thank you, Linda. I don't put Linda, whatever her last name is, because, just every once in a while there's, there's a lot of people, and I've run across that a couple times, is there's, people that know other realtors and they've chosen to use me, and that's excellent. But I just don't, I don't want to put them in that awkward situation.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense too, because they're their sister could be a realtor. Why didn't you refer me?
Yeah, definitely. So I just put a first name. It could be anybody. So that's that's what I do there. Another thing I try to make every day is that I interact with at least 3 people. It's on Facebook. That sometimes.
So what's your definition of interacting?
Interacting, just commenting, communicating, having a conversation through social media with at least 3 different people. I have right now, I think I have about 1,200 people on my, on my Facebook page. So, I interact with them. And another thing that I kind of sell really strongly on my listings is, regardless of the company they're with, I have really great relationships with co-op agents, other people. They're helping me sell my properties. And a lot of times when I, list or I post a picture, I'll have agents ask me, what's the information on this house? And I'll, send it to them privately. But that, keeping those relationships with people, regardless of if they're competition or in another companies, really, really, pays back when you have listings.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I love your story. I just love it how, you're able to just, make a decision, switch gears, do what it takes to learn it, to feel confident, and just pull it in. And I'll wrap this up with the last piece of advice from you. If somebody out there is listening and they're like, man, I did 80% buyers and 20% listing last year, and I want to be like Trish, where, I completely have flipped that into a 12-month period. What advice do you have for them?
You're going to have to pull back. Buyers are, and maybe you said this, I heard this somewhere, but they're like crack. They're very addicting, and they will consume your time to where you don't have time to focus on anything else. So you're going to have to pull back. You're going to have to let some of it go, refer it out. I did that, I did that in the first couple months when I was changing. I referred buyers out to other agents just because I really, I couldn't get distracted. You have to really focus on what you're doing and, hit listings, whether you're, cold calling, expires, whatever you're doing, focus only on listings and don't let the buyers distract you. It's not that you can never work with buyers again, which would probably be even more productive, but it's, don't let it distract you, because as soon as you sidetrack and go off with a buyer, on showing homes and, whatever, you're going to lose focus on what you need to be focused on.
I love it. Great advice, guys. Listen, take her advice. You will not regret it. I mean, it's going to be hard. It's going to hurt in the beginning, but the free time that Trish has now, and the freedom and the profit and the control that she has now is probably better than since she started, right?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And hire an admin. Leverage. Oh my goodness. Leverage is so priceless. It's really great.
Well, that's awesome. Oh, one more thing. You're going to give a free gift. Everybody that comes on the show gives a free gift. Has to be something that you could download. Has to be something that they could actually take with them, print it out, use on a day-to-day basis. What is something you could give our audience?
So I made an easy checklist, basically building a referral business using Facebook to stay connected. And it's just kind of a checklist of what to do on Facebook. It's pretty easy to follow. And I think if everybody incorporated it, there's a lot of realtors I know out there, and I see them on Facebook, and you would never even know that they're realtors. Because they never talk about it. So it's just like kind of a little checklist of what you should be doing on your personal page, aside from your business page.
That's awesome. So I'm going to put that on hibandigital.com/Trish Williams 2. That's hibandigital.com/Trish Williams 2. And of course, it will be plopped into the toolbox, which is on hibandigital.com/toolbox, or simply get it by texting toolbox to 444-999. Trish, this has been awesome, and best of luck to you in all your new future endeavors.
Thank you, Pat. Very nice talking to you again. It's been great. Thanks for having me back.
Thank you for watching Real Estate Rockstars. Please give us a review wherever you're watching or wherever you're listening. We eat feedback for breakfast, and I don't care whether you give me a 1-star review or a 5-star review. I just want the review. I want to know what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. Would love to improve things. Hey, and listen, please subscribe. The more subscribers we get and the more reviews we get, the better guests we'll get for you in the future. Feel free to reach out to me anywhere on social media. Just type in my name. I'm everywhere, and I look forward to meeting you in the digital world. Have a great day, and thanks again for listening to Real Estate Rockstars.